guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are having a great weekend. So we are still, well, I am still in the phase of analyzing everything that kind of went on since June 15th and June 15th. The other day, Summer Wells's 2-year mark. I'm still analyzing everything of what happened, what went down, and all that stuff. That way we can talk about it. And I did come up with something really neat that we can talk about. So, and again, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the little episode here. So today I'm going to be talking about YouTube versus the news. And there is one thing I would like to talk to the news about, because WVLT up in here in Knoxville, they was talking about, they were showing a bunch of, and not all of them are, but they were showing a bunch of YouTube videos of YouTubers that done videos on Summer Wells. It showed one of my thumbnails. I think like 10 to Life was in there and some others. But they called us all like conspiracy theorists. You know what I mean? And I kind of don't want to be labeled that, because, and I'll get into that later on. I mean, there are some conspiracy theorists on YouTube, in just about everything on YouTube, but there are some people that actually listen to statements and actually do some decent investigating, and based off that they go down a certain road with a theory, which ain't, in my opinion, would be considered a conspiracy theory. So in my opinion, a conspiracy theory is something, you know, like really, really far-fetched. You know, maybe something that would maybe have like a 2% chance of happening or existing or something like that. That would be my idea of like a conspiracy theory. Now, when you start getting into theories that maybe have like a 90% chance of happening, then based on the information that you gather to get to that 90% possibility of it happening or higher, then that, in my opinion, doesn't fall into the realm of a conspiracy theory. It falls into the realm of just a theory. So let's talk about this, guys. So what's the difference between YouTubers and mainstream media and the news? In my opinion, YouTubers are more what you would call investigative journalism, and some, you know, some people are really, really good at it. You know what I mean? Some people ain't. But that's in true crime. I think that the difference between YouTubers and the news media is the news media, they just have these reporters that just go out there and just get basic information. You know, just like the guy that recently, you know, took the life of his kids in his front yard. They basically just got, you know, he done that. Now, YouTubers, on the other hand, will interview neighbors, witnesses, people that knew them, and we'll get information that the news never even bothered to get, and in there lies a whole new story, you know what I mean, which can paint a picture of maybe a motive, not a motive, not if there's not a motive, it can paint a picture of maybe why something happened, you know what I mean. You want to investigate to hopefully get to the point to where it paints a picture. Now, is that picture always going to be accurate? No. like I said, sometimes you can get to like a 90% chance of, okay, well, this could have happened. You know what I mean? You can get close, where a conspiracy, probably not even going to be close. You know what I mean? Conspiracy, if a conspiracy theorist got a hold of what happened the other day about the kids in the yard, they probably would have said aliens came down and done that to the kids instead of the father. That right there would be a conspiracy theorist in my idea, or in my opinion. So, yeah, what separates YouTubers from the news? A lot of YouTubers go that extra mile to get interviews that the news doesn't, to get information the news doesn't. And within all that information and all that stuff, it paints a picture for YouTubers that the news media don't get to paint a picture of. You know what I mean? They just are sent out there, you know, it's corporate, you know, corporate content's what I call it, corporate content. And us YouTubers, you know, we are basically freelancers, and we can gather whatever content we want. And so that's the differences, I think, in YouTube news versus, or YouTuber news versus a network news station. So I hope that helps. That's what I kind of been analyzing, guys. Yeah, I've been watching all these interviews, and I'm like, golly, they never touched on this, and they never touched on that. And I'm just going, why? So, but again, it falls back to corporate policies. They just don't want to step on anybody's toes or upset anybody. Whereas YouTubers, a lot of times we don't care if we step on a few toes or if we upset a few people. We're looking to get the answers. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, and based on interviews with people, like in Summer Wells' case, okay, this is the difference between WJHL, WVLT, and YouTubers. As far as I know, WJHL and WVLT, they've only interviewed, I think, Jody Sue. Where us YouTubers, we have interviewed, you know, or we've had YouTubers that have interviewed Dudley, right? I've interviewed Jackie Dobbs. We've interviewed Jody Sue. We've interviewed a lot of people. You know, we've interviewed Allison, Leslie. We've interviewed a lot, but the news hasn't interviewed these people, as far as I'm aware of. And in the information that lies within those interviews, it paints a picture that nobody knows about if you just watch the network news, WJHL, WVLT. You know, we get information that they don't. Like the time that Leslie stated that Candace made the boys get out of the pool and lay down on the hot pavement. And some other things in the investigation that we have discovered or uncovered that the news media just hasn't, because I don't think they've even tried, because they're not considered investigative journalists. They're just journalists. They're there to basically, you know, what happened, real quick, we're done, next story. They're not there to, okay, well, wow, we need to, let's look into this. This is really intriguing. And that's their downfall, because if they would do that, I think it would really help their numbers. People would be more interested in the news if they'd done that, you know what I mean? That's why so many people, I think, watch YouTube and YouTubers, because, you know, we go out there, we get the interviews, we get to hear stories that the news media don't bring to you. You know, when you know, people interviewing Dudley, we got to hear stuff from Dudley that WVLT and WJHL never brought you, right? Right? I mean, Dudley was telling us that Dawn was spending the night at the work sites to avoid CPS, right? We never got that from WJHL or WVLT. So, but on the flip side, when us YouTubers do go out to do our investigative journalism and stuff like that, or to dig into stuff, a lot of us have to dig remotely. I mean, look at Michelle. Look at Michelle over in the UK. I mean, she can't come over here and, you know, interview people and just, you know, go to Rogersville and interview people. She's got to do her research and homework, you know, 3,000 miles across the ocean, if that's what it is. I don't know, but there are a lot of people here that can go get local interviews and local information from these people that paints a picture. You know what I mean? When Doug at No Thanks Investigates and these other channels had Dawn Wells on their live stream, Ziggy, and we got to see how that family lived. And I'm like, I'm not talking how they acted on the news camera or at the shopping center or at church. We got to see the real deal, their real personality. Okay. What we seen the other day with that remote interview with Dawn Wells, that was, in my opinion, fake. He was putting on a facade for the public. Where when someone has Dawn on their live stream and these 3 sheets to the wind, and it seems like they're smacking each other around, you know, him and Candace, you know, that's real information. That's real. I mean, that's, you know, that's stuff right there that helps paint a picture of the home life those kids had to deal with, where WVLT and WJHL, they never got that information, which doesn't paint a picture. Doesn't, I mean, they just give you the basics of these news stories, and that's all you get. So, you know, Dawn Wells getting drunk and, you know, telling Candace, you know, don't break the effing door. And it seems like, you know, there was, you know, someone was like, did he just hit her? I mean, that paints a picture, guys. And that's not a conspiracy, okay? Dawn getting pulled over while on a live with Doug at No Thanks Investigates, that's not a conspiracy. Jody Sue stating, you know, what Jody Sue used to be the neighbor of Summer Wells. Jody Sue coming on YouTube and stating, you know, her old man used to take drugs over there for Dawn and Candace, and you know, for the kids to possibly be touched. That's not a conspiracy, guys. Now, if Jody Sue is a conspiracy theorist and she puts this stuff out there as the neighbor of Summer Wells and a, you know, a possible witness to their lifestyle, then that's sad. You know, that, you know, she shouldn't be doing that, right? I mean, if that never happened, she shouldn't be putting that information out there. But more likely, in my opinion, I think it did. And again, taking drugs over there while kids are over there, that paints a picture, guys. It paints a picture of the lifestyle that those kids had to endure over there at that house. Dudley saying that, allegedly claiming that Dawn used to let Josie smoke pot while working for Tucker Drywall inside these homes. That paints a picture that you don't get from WJHL or WVLT, right? And another thing, talking about investigative journalism, I asked WVLT and WJHL a month ago. I said, if you guys do any interviews or do any digging when June 15th comes and y'all decide to cover the Summer Wells case, if you're going to cover the Summer Wells case, can you do me a favor? Can you find out why there were no charges filed for Summers' brothers being removed out of the home like they were by CPS? Because everybody is asking that question, and whether you get an answer to it or not, at least you asked it. At least you asked that question, because we're looking for a little bit of transparency, and people want to know, why were there no charges on Dawn and Candace for those boys being pulled out of the home like they were? And again, CPS is not in business to pull kids out of homes like that just for giggles. You know what I mean? So, but did you hear WVLT or WJHL even attempt to do that? I mean, they could have said, we reached out to CPS because a lot of people want to know, why were there no charges on the parents when the kids were removed? But we never got any answer from CPS, or CPS declined to do an interview with us or whatever. They never even touched on that. And I think that is something, important. Because if you got an answer on it, it would paint a picture. It would paint another picture. Right, guys? And CPS giving you information isn't a conspiracy, right? Those are facts. So if CPS says, oh, we removed them for this, or we did not bring any charges on the parents because, of this, and this, that paints a picture, and, we can kind of add two and two and go, oh, okay, well, we see what they're kind of up against now. But, let me know if you think I'm wrong, guys. Do you think that that's an important question? Whether we get an answer to it or not, everybody seems to want to know why the parents didn't get charged for the boys being taken out of that home like they were, right? Where's the charges? If it were me and you, we'd have been thrown under the jail. I know people that were threatened to be arrested by, over CPS issues for a lot less. A lot less. So, anyway, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this little episode. I got something to play for you guys. Hold on. Let me let you listen to this, and then I'll leave you. We'll leave on a good note after this. This is another thing that paints a picture. This is one thing that I did like about WVLT. This is one question that they did get right, and this also paints a picture. Let me play it for you.
There are still very few clues, despite investigators working thousands of hours on this case. Numerous search warrants, cell phone data analyzed, and other evidence collected, and not one sign of Summer. Wells says he spent hundreds of sleepless nights wondering where his little girl is. So I asked him, do you know what happened to Summer?
I don't know how you answer a question like that. I've had that question asked to me before. If I asked you that question, how would you answer?
Really? That's what I'm talking. That was a very good question. That was a very good question. That was an investigative journalist question right there. And, of course, as you know, Dawn Wells, it was a yes or no answer, guys. Do you know what happened to your daughter? And yes or no. It was a yes or no question. And Don said, well, yeah, I've been asked that question before, and yeah. And then he's like, well, if you were asked that question, how would you answer it? Don, they asked you that question. And Don Wells, it's a yes or no answer. Do you know what happened to Summer Wells? It's a yes or no answer. And for you to avoid that question and deflect that question, again, it raises red flags, it looks suspicious, and it paints a picture. And again, this is not conspiracy. This is a factual report. This is a factual report with a reporter asking a question, a legitimate question, and Don Wells deflects it. A simple yes or no question. He could have said no. He could have said yes. He probably wouldn't want to say yes, but he could have said no. And he didn't. That paints a picture, guys. It paints a picture. So, I would like to know, I mean, if Don Wells comes on any other YouTuber channels, I know a lot of people watch my channel. You know, a lot of people critique me or whatever. I'll never have Don or Candace on my channel, but I'd like to know. Why didn't you answer that question directly with a yes or no? Right? It's not the reporter's girl that's missing. It's your girl. Well, not your girl. Now you lost your kids. So, it was a question for you, and it was a yes or no question. As simple as that. So, stop with all the deflections. Stop with all the suspicious statements, the suspicious behavior. Oh, wait a minute, you can't. Because, in my opinion, you're probably guilty of what happened to Summer. That's my opinion. So, anyway, guys, let me know what you think about the episode. Let me know what you think about what I think. Drop some comments below, and I'll see you on the next video.